What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian from Brian's Custom Auto coming at you today with more body work. We are backtracking a little bit. We are going back to the OBS Chevy. That's right. We're going to get the front fenders. I got them right there. We're going to get the front fenders sanded down in the primer. And go ahead and do the inner fender wells as well. We'll go get those from the other building. Bring the hood in. I've got the hood out there. We're going to bring the hood in, get it sanded down and primed. We're going to get the tailgate sanded down and primed in this next video, guys. In this video. So if you remember, I keep telling y'all about the OBS Chevy, how it was wrecked on one side at some point in the past. Well, here's the evidence of that too. Notice one fender all scuffed out and all that. And then you got this one. But now what's crazy is this one is rusted through on the bottom down here versus this one. Little odd. Little odd. But it's all right. We're going to get that taken care of. We're going to get it taken care of. We got to take them fender Dumaflocci things off. Fix whatever's under that. But get the bump rails off. We're going to have to take the corners off. But the corners will be fine, because we're going to take those off, Scotch-Brite those, get them all cleaned up and everything. And yeah, go right back to it with it. So here's the other difference too. Look at the corner of that pinstripe, how on this fender it just stops right there, as opposed to the shiny one, it goes all the way around like it was added later or something. You know, I'm just saying, too much has gone on this to just be one side. I might have to call him to see if he even wants to fix the rust on that fender, or if he wants to just get a new fender, but we'll see. So hang tight, guys. All right, guys, we got the fender up on the stand. We got it laying face down. I've already pulled the screws out of this chrome rail here, so we're gonna snatch that off. And you know what we're gonna do with that? Into the bin. All right, now we gotta get this corner piece off here. I've already got a socket for it. Goo goo gachoo. There we go. Now we don't want to lose these screws, because these have to go back on. All right, we got that off. You'll have to torque them down, not like that, but you want to put them back in there so they're there. There we go. Now, we took that corner piece off because it has to be cleaned up, scuffed down, and ready for paint as well. Get all that dirt and grime and stuff out of it. But yeah, this goes behind the corner of your bumper, which I just talked to him, and we are in fact replacing the bumper. Okay. I've got to check on that other fender to see if we can get one at a decent rate or a decent price. But if not, I'll go ahead and fix that one. Now, at this point, we're going to leave all the clips in, okay? Because this fender's staying, we're just going to clear it up and paint it. It's not going to get, it might get the clear coat on the inside. I don't know yet. I hadn't decided. But with this truck being what it's going to be when it leaves here, most likely it's going to get clear coated in the engine bay as well. Just because I want it to look like the $1,000,000 that it deserves. All right, now gotta get this guy off of here. Where that's gonna go? Into the bin. All right. And I'm fixing to show you just how good it works. Move you around so you can see that edge a little bit better. All right. So all that adhesive is still on there, right? So there's that. Now we need to get this stripe off, okay? Same scenario. So we'll do it with this. There's that. All right, so we got the majority of the fender sanded down. Still got a little bit back here to hit. But, you know, I did all this with the DA and the other sander. Not a big deal, right? But now we got to get down into this crack. And maybe somebody else knows something I don't. But the best way I found to get down in that crack is using just this rubber 3M block, piece of sandpaper, and just getting on your angle and getting in there. So that's what this tool actually is. We're here is several hours later. We did have to stop and go get the baby. My little girl, the baby, whatever. Anyway, the shop foreman. She was up in North Carolina. However, I'll show you what we got done on the fender today and where we're at right this second. So as we got the other side, the underside, which I'll show you that, it's sanded completely down to bare metal. The only bad spot on this entire fender is right here in this corner, right? It is right under this. I cut me a template, did me a CAD design, cardboard assisted design, cut me a piece of metal. Yes, it's a little bit larger, okay? The reasoning for that is because right inside there, you can see the little pinholes. It goes up all the way up into here, where that's pinch welded together as two pieces. We're gonna go on the outside here. We're gonna add this in, okay? And then taper it off back here, all right? Yes, I know it's oversized. That's for me to have room to weld in and then grind it down. Same thing over here. We want to tack it, then grind it down. That way, we're putting good metal in, okay? So, we're going to do that. We'll wait and do this in the morning. I'm just going to leave it stuck there for tonight. But maybe, hang on. Okay, so I took the piece of metal off so you can see exactly what we're dealing with inside here. But if you look, you can see the Swiss cheese, how it goes all the way down to up in here before you start getting the good metal again. And of course, we're coming down even further just to make sure we're in good metal. But now we got great metal on the outside and we got great metal on the inside. So all we're doing is filling up this hole here, right? So that's why I cut that slightly oversized and close to the original shape right there. Back this stupid camera out. There we go. Hard to do all this one-handed, but it serves another function too. That's a screw hole for the stinking chrome fender covers. So, and we're gonna fill all those in too. But that goes on there like so, and then with the grinder or the cutoff, or not the cutoff wheel, but the right angle, we'll shape this to fit properly, and it'll go right back on there. And that way we can fill up all the cottage cheese, and it's fixed with metal, not Bondo. Okay. That's this one. Now this one, guys, I haven't even started on it yet. I'll do it tomorrow. But this one has already been, look at that. That's Bondo, which shows more remnants of it being worked on before. Anyway, so we'll go into here and we'll see how bad the rust is in there. If it's too bad, we'll go ahead and just order a new fender. But we really don't want to do that. So, yeah, that's where we're at for tonight. And yeah, we'll get back on it first thing in the morning. Well, not first thing in the morning. I've got to take my son somewhere and drop him off. And then when I get back, me and the shop foreman are going to be out here sanding on these fenders and getting it tacked up or whatever else we got to do. All right, guys, so it's Easter Sunday. And I'm out here piddling with this fender for just a minute just because I know what the next step is. The new replacement fender from Auto Metal Direct is on the way because the cancer that's in this one and the Bondo is about 1/8 of an inch thick. So instead of spending the time in it, $200 has a new fender. So what I did is went ahead and took a minute and just stripped all the C-clips or U-clips or whatever you want to call them off of it, and got the corner piece off so I could put it on the new fender. Went ahead and undid the stupid fender rail here, and now it is ready to go into the bin. So, and that's it for today. I ain't doing nothing else. Okay, here we go. Really? That's what you got to say is go fast? I'm not going fast. No. Look. Don't let go, honey. All right, everybody, we're back. It's a new day. We've got this fender on the stand with the little patch panel we're going to put right there. Got the TIG welder all set up, so got the fan turned off so it ain't blowing my shielding gas away. We're going to go ahead and get this piece tacked in here right quick and start working that. That shouldn't take very long at all. Just tack that in real good and metal work it down and be good to go from there. So I'll bring you back here in just a minute. Now, this, I say a minute, might take a few. So I'll see you in a second. All right, so we went ahead with the wire wheel and knocked all the rest of the big stuff off of it paint wise. Got that corner put back on there and shaped up. Now all we got to do is at that little top edge right there, do a little body work in there. But as for right now, this fender is ready to go get put out there so it can get finished up and sealed. In the meantime, I'm gonna move over to the inside wheel tubs while I'm waiting on the other fender and the bumpers and all to get here. So let's get a wheel tub in here and we'll start sanding on it. Again, guys, this truck is going to be my Mona Lisa. When I'm done with it, it will be the absolute best of the best that I can possibly do. Yeah. And like I said, I'm pretty certain I'm gonna go ahead and paint and clear coat the under the hood just for a better look. Got to. When you're putting this kind of color on a vehicle, you got to make it look good. So, yeah, let's keep rocking and rolling, guys. All right, guys, so I had to leave and run to O'Reilly's to go get some stuff, and I come back, and in the driveway waiting is a box from Auto Metal Direct, and then FedEx just dropped off 2 more packages for the OBS Chevy. So, let's open them up, see what we got. I know what's in the first box. I don't know what's in the other 2, but hey, we'll find out together. All right, guys, we're gonna start with the Auto Metal Direct box just because I really like this company. And I will tell you this, in my experience, when you're having to put new panels on a vehicle, you always want to go with a better quality over the cheaper ones. Case in point, the doors on that OBS Chevy, they're on the cheaper side, so therefore every bit of the metal you touch is real flimsy feeling. And also just throwing this out there, they don't weigh nothing. So this is check it out. Look at there. Beautiful, and just feels like better quality. It's heavy. Lay it box over sideways here. Beautiful. Not sure what company this is from. Man. This is, I don't know. It just says FT front bumper. Ow, sharp edge. All right, so this is a chrome bumper. I'm gonna leave the bubble wrap on it, guys. This is a front bumper. All it has is the tag bracket holes, but no center pokes for like the for the bumper to go, bump rail to go around it. This does not have that, so that's going to be beautiful on that truck. The grill. This is Tong Yang. Who the heck is Tong Yang? Nice. Guys, that looks really good. That looks really, really good. We got to come up with a Chevy emblem for it to put in there. Now, this is actually really nice. It's all plastic, but it looks really, really good, guys. This is going to be awesome on there. Now, I might not be the smartest person in the world, but what I can tell you, in my opinion, the best time to get ready to spray down and degrease inner fender wells and stuff like that is already on a day when it's overcast and kind of trying to rain on you. Why not? You already got to spray the stuff off anyway, so why not do it then? All right, guys. We got them all degreased, sitting here. We're going to let them sit there and dry. I know, they didn't turn out quite so perfect, did they? That's all right. We're going to strip them down. We're going to sand them down. We're going to make them have a mirror finish as well. My goal over the next few days is to get the fender wells sanded down, primed, ready to go. Both front fenders sanded down, primed, ready to go. The core support taken completely apart, sanded down, primed, ready to go. Because I want the core support to look just as good as the rest of the underhood, okay? And then we got a few other things I'll remember along the way. But yeah, so that being said, let's go ahead and jump on this fender here and get the poly coat knocked off of it and get it ready. And go from there. Sound good? Sounds good. Something I want to show you guys. I just put this fender up here and just started sanding on it. And I want to show you something about the poly coat that they put on these fenders. So for those of you who don't know, a lot of you do, but some of you don't. These fenders come pre-painted black. That's not the case. If you leave this out in the sunlight for a week, it's going to be super faded and everything else. This is not primer under this. If you'll look, that's metal. That's metal. Metal, metal, metal. All right. All the poly coat is so they can spray it black to protect the metal from rusting before it gets delivered. So whenever you buy a fender from Auto Metal Direct or any other company for that matter, or any other body panel, you have to sand this poly coat down, okay? You have to do this if you want to paint it. You can't just scuff it and then spray straight over the poly coat either, because it won't work. So there's other guys that can explain it better than I can. People like Bondo Billy or Pole Barn Garage or Vice Grip Garage. Any of them can probably explain it a lot better than I can, but good luck talking to them. They're so famous now that they don't answer peons like us. And I ain't saying nothing negative toward them. They've worked for it, but you know, just talk to your people is all I'm saying. But anyway, Bondo Billy might answer you. He's not that big yet, and he'll be able to tell you exactly what you're supposed to do with this. Like, I'm going to sand this down just like that fender there. I'm going to sand this down. I'll seal it. I'll prime it. And then I'll do the same thing as if I was body working any other fender. I'll prime it. I'll guide coat it, because like we got one little spot there and we got one little spot there. You know, little stuff like that. You got to look for that, because when you're putting on the Mona Lisa paint job, all that'll show up. I mean, you can see that plain as day. You can see that plain as day. And it looks worse on camera than what it really is. It's not bad. That's all that is a pinch mark. Okay? Not a big deal. Super easy to take care of. It's just, this is AMD, so this is your better of the options. I could only imagine what it would be like if you'd ordered something that was, you know, from China. Probably real dented up. But anyway, guys. But yeah, that's only a poly coat. It has to come off of there. Okay? Okay, there's your lesson. All right, guys, we're back. It's the next day. Both fenders are done and ready for primer. They're sitting right there. We got the inner fender well sitting on the stand here now, and I am in the process of wire wheeling all the greasy spot, like all this down here, and then we'll get in here and get all the rest of it knocked out. Now this side of it's just going to be black, but now on the other side of it, that's going to be body color. Okay, so we got to make these fender wells look really good too, because I mean, in my opinion, there ain't nothing better than raising the hood, seeing a beautiful, beautiful painted engine sitting there with a beautiful painted firewall, beautiful painted underhood, beautiful painted fender wells, and all that stuff. All this is all still going to be functional. So we want it all to be there and looking good. So, yeah. All right, it's been a while, but let me show you. This first inner fender is completely devoid of all paint. Got to blow it off, and well, there's still some of there. You know what, I'll go ahead and get that knocked out real quick. But we're to this point, which is great, because that means now I can do the etching on it, let it sit, and then get that bad boy in here. All right, ladies and gents, we are back. It is the next day. It's about halfway through the next day, but we ain't gonna get into that. All right, so I've got this beautiful steel cowl induction hood up here, which is also from Holley. And then we've got the tailgate down there that I've opened in the past and showed you guys. Both of them are in the poly coat. So you know what that means we got to do? We got to sand them down. So that's what we're going to get started on, knocking the poly coat off of this and getting it ready for primer. All right. So we're moving right along here, getting this poly coat knocked off. You can see from the light where it's shiny and where it's not. Guys, I cannot stress this enough when you're sanding, do your cross patterns, okay? Now, what I'm doing here, and yes, I am using a Ryobi iron type deal here, but I'm using that just to knock the top part of the shine off and then going back over it with the DA and by hand. All these edges and stuff I'll do by hand, and like on the side of the cowl I'll do by hand. But all the flat areas, I use this and that. And the only reason I'm using that instead of my air file is because the air file requires so much air to use that my compressor has a hard time keeping up with it. That's why I do it this way. When I can afford to get me a big old 100-gallon one, I'll do that. I even tried to tandem my two compressors together, guys. It didn't work. So, anyway, I'll hit it with that iron first and then run right back over it with that DA deal there, and that should have me down to where I need to be ready for primer. So here we are. It's been a couple of hours, guys. We got the top side of the hood sanded. Now we're on the bottom side. But people always want to wonder, why does it take you so long to sand stuff down? Like, it's big straight edges. Well, let me show you why it takes so long. Because you have to sand it down. There's no question about it, right? This is where the time comes in, when you're charging somebody for this. You see all them curves and all them bars and all them lumps? Well, if you don't sand it, the paint ain't going to stick to it. Real simple. So you have to sand every bit of that. And I mean, there's not really any easy way to do it. You have to just get in there and do it with a block or with a piece of paper or whatever. So there's the answer to that. It always takes time when you're doing this kind of stuff. Now, down in there, we're going to get down in there as far as we can. But, you're not going to get every bit of it. We're going to get that grate straightened out. I mean, you even got to hand sand this lip right here. That's the only way you're going to get it. But that's how you do something like the Mona Lisa. So, let's keep rocking and rolling here, guys. Okay, so it's the next day. I've done been in North Carolina and back. Dropped off my little girl and finished up the last little bit of sanding I had to do as far as getting the corners and stuff on that hood. And now we've got it hung up out here in the bay. Not ready for paint yet, of course, but I did hang it up from the side. So it's hung up there, sanded down, ready. So now we'll get the tailgate in here, do the same thing with it. And at that point, we can start degreasing everything and start getting primer on it, okay? Maybe do a little more touch up on that inner fender there just to get this I somehow managed to walk away and leave those edges. We're going to get that out. All right, guys, so here we are, case in point of checking your stuff when you get it in. And I know I opened the box, but I didn't pull the tailgate out to look at it, okay? Now, I'm not stressing that little divot right there. We can get that out. But what I was concerned about is right here on this edge, you can see my little line there where I was just hammering at. This whole edge was folded under right there. That is from where somebody at some point had that upright and dropped it and bent this under. They did the same thing on the door. And I want to say it was probably done at the loading dock where I picked this stuff up from. Because ever since it's been in my possession, it's all laid flat. So, I mean, you know, you always have to check your stuff. Had I noticed that then, we could have sent this back and got a new one. But it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We're going to roll with it. All right? But, yeah, this was folded under, so I simply had to get my dolly and block and kind of work it back a little bit. I might have to skim a little bit, but we'll figure that out after I get it all sanded down. But, yeah. So here's the tailgate. Just for those of you who don't know, there's the inside of it. There's no panel on this one. So, and yes, we have all new hardware over there under the engine in a box. So, yeah. New handle, new hardware, new locks, new everything. New everything. So anyway, let's get the polycoat off this, and then that will be that. All right, here we are. It's quite a bit later. We have been busy. Let me show you. So yeah, I got the hood hanging. I got the fenders hanging. I got the tailgate on the bench. I got the fender wheels right here, which those are ready to be hung. I don't think I'm going to hang those, but yeah, I got stuff hung up, ready to be wiped down. And we're going to go ahead and get the primer on it, turn it all one color. And we got air moving through here. That's so cool. All right, here we are. First coat of primer on each one. Yes, I know it's Tiger Stripe. I'm not worried about Tiger Stripe. I'm not worried about the color. All right. That's why I know the tailgate is rose. That's gray. That's a darker gray. I know that's Tiger Stripe. I know that's like that. I'm aware of that. Okay. This is base for Mona Lisa. All right. Meaning, I'm going to lay each one of these things down. I'm going to guide coat them, sand them down, make sure everything is great before I go back with its actual primer coat. So, therefore, that Tiger Stripe does not matter because it's getting sanded back off anyway. It'll get Scotch-Brighted, more than likely, because there's no dents in the hood, but I got to do this anyway. It's a step that I have to take, guys. There's probably somebody out there who can say, nah, you could have just went ahead and painted it. I don't know. I'm not taking a chance. I know what steps I have to take to paint a vehicle. That's why that one turned out like it did. And it's still not done because I missed the steps trying to get in a hurry. This I am not getting in a hurry on. I am taking every step that is meant to be taken while painting and body working a vehicle. But we got both front fenders. So here, both of those, and the hood is the front end. There's the tailgate, which the bed's already on the truck. So the only thing we've got left to really work on, guys, is the core support. And I'm not stressing that right this second because I still have to do the insides. Well, technically the outside of the fender wells, inside of the hood, inside of the front fenders, and the inside of the tailgate. But before I can do that, I've got to go get more primer. So anyway, so that's where we're at right now. All right, ladies and gents, we are back. It's the next day now. So if you're keeping track, we're on like 5-6 days of this. Getting it stripped down, getting it primed back, and now it's time to Scotch-Brite and guide coat and all that stuff. Now, I'm not going to guide coat the fender wells, okay? They are good. They just need to be Scotch-Brited down and ready to go from there, okay? But we are going to guide coat the fenders and the hood and the tailgate. So, yeah. So but anyway, primed fender well up here with a piece of Scotch-Brite. So we're going to start on fender wells, get those knocked out, make those all level and look good. and set them back out here. Now, as you see, it's a rainy day today, so I cannot go back and do any more priming today. I cannot do any kind of painting today. So, essentially, all we're going to be able to do is Scotch-Brite the fender wells and guide coat the top sides of all this stuff. And go from there to see if we got to add anything, fix anything like that. All right, so I can show you something here. Now that I've got this tailgate, I went ahead and started sanding it with the hard block, the 3M block in 400. And what the whole purpose of the guide coat is it puts the dark haze over this to where when you sand it, any dark spot that's left, like that, and on that edge, and like right here and right here, you'll still see it. That's a good one there. But you can see the little dark spots here and there, okay? But that's just a touch low, and there's another spot here somewhere right there that's actually a touch high, but it's within, I think that's within area. But we need to do a little work on this edge here. We need to do a little work on that and a little work on that spot there. But that's what the guide coat is for, guys. That's why you want to do this. You prime it, put your guide coat, or prime it, put your guide coat on it, and then sand it with a flat block, okay? And when you sand it with a flat block, that's how you find your low spots. So that's what we're going to work on. All right, so we got her all sanded down in the 400 and found just those two spots, nothing else. So we went ahead and put some glaze on that one, glaze on this one, and we're going to let that set and dry for a bit. We'll knock that down, and this will be ready to go. So, again, guys, when you're working with good materials, like good stuff here, I don't know what, you don't have a whole lot of body work to do. This is just stuff that happens. Like, that was folded under quite a bit. I got it straightened out, and now it's bead line straight. That one there was just a random, well, I ain't even sure. But anyhow, as soon as I sand it down, that'll be done. So that's already drying. That's the other thing too, when you're using glaze, mix it fairly thick, fairly quick, so that way you can get it in and out of there really fast. All right, so it's had time to harden up and dry. It's all set, good to go. So we're gonna knock it down with the 400, and that'll take care of that. We can hang it back up and bring a fender in and start on them. So let's get after it. So we went ahead and got the fender in here, got this corner already being worked up, just because I already knew it had to be. But outside of that, the rest of this fender looks really good. Now, while we were at it, we went ahead, reprimed that, and got this corner right here, right there where it's real low. Went ahead and slapped some putty in there, or glaze in there. I know there's another spot on here, I just got to find it. But we'll do that in just a minute. Now, I mixed this batch really, really hot, so it'll be dry here in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get my guide coat, go ahead and start guide coating this down, and get it ready so I can start Scotch-Briting it. So, yeah, let's go. Alrighty, and the last fender is sanded down to 600. And now we need to touch this up a little bit more right there. You can see the little dent in it. But as you can tell, that's the only thing wrong with this one. We're going to do that, and then we'll get this fender hung back up and primed. But we're going to do that tomorrow after church. Actually, no. Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow after church. And get all the rest of it painted and all that. Or not painted, but primed. And then from there, we have the hood left to do, and then we'll be piecing it back together on the truck. All right, but that will be in next week's video. So stay tuned and follow this build as it goes along. As I said in the last video, what you see each week is what I work on that week. This week has been the front end of this truck, trying to get it sanded down and done. And so this is where we're leaving off with this one for at the moment. So stay tuned. You'll get one more video before we go out of town, okay? And that'll be on this truck, putting the front end back together. So, stay tuned, and we will see you on that one. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that little bell notification so you can be notified when I'm uploading the next video. That way you can stay in tune to what build is going on at the time instead of catching 3 or 4 videos later. And do me a favor, share this with a friend. Mona Lisa's coming together, and I want to share it with all you guys. And you never know, we might make it to that 2,000 mark sometime soon, or not. I would like to. I'd like to make it to 1 million. Look at all the things Cletus is doing because you guys subscribe to him. I would like to do that. I can't do it without your help, though. Hit the button. Make YouTube like us. We're just wrench turners that can do some awesome stuff if we're allowed. So make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and share this with a buddy, and hit that bell notification. I'll see you guys next week. Remember, if it doesn't challenge you, it don't change you. Have a good one.